Welcome to the Leadership School podcast. I'm your host, leadership and self-care coach, Kyla Kofer. Here at the Leadership School, you'll hear leaders from around the world sharing their stories and expertise on how to lead with balance and integrity. Our goal? Teach you how to be an extraordinary leader. Welcome back to the Leadership School podcast, everyone. I am your host, Kyla Kofer. I'm a transformational leadership coach, and I'm here just to talk today about flexibility. So we don't have a guest today, but I was thinking today specifically about what does it look like and what does it mean to be flexible. I think this actually stemmed from a line that I heard in Bluey, which if you haven't heard of Bluey, even if you don't have children, it's worth getting Disney Plus to watch Bluey because it's fantastic. It is an Australian cartoon about a family of blue healers and their life lessons and how they interact together as a family. It's beautiful and brilliant. I love every minute of it. And we've probably seen all the episodes dozens of times at this point. But at one moment, I overheard the mother, whose name is Chili, say to Bluey, her daughter, well, you can't control everything. Sometimes you just have to roll with it. So I was thinking about that tonight because today I had a lot on my plate with my own work. I have two different businesses that I'm running, and one of them required more attention. And so I've got both of these things that I'm trying to pay attention to. The same time, my son was not feeling good. So he was sick today, and I'm managing his illness and managing all the stuff that I have to do. And then our house was like a disaster. It was just a total wreck. And so I'm thinking, okay, I've also got to do the dishes, do the laundry, get the house picked up, because our plan was that we were supposed to have a birthday party for my daughter tomorrow, the next day. So, and I also had to make her a cake. So I was thinking all of these things that I had to do and coordinate, and how on earth was I going to manage all of this? And really, I think what it came down to was just learning and knowing how to be flexible, because here we are as adults. There's often a lot of stuff that hits us, things that we can't control. I had no control over my son being sick. I had no control over some of the things that came up for work today. I do have control, however, 100% of the time of one thing and one thing only, and that is how I show up and how I respond to things. So I can respond by getting super frustrated and I can't handle this and I'm just going to go shut down. Or I can respond by really going into, which is what I did today, was going into like task mode. Here's all the things I need to get done. Let's focus. Let's just do them and let's just move forward and we do what we've got to do. Other times we might need to delegate things, but really we have to be flexible to be able to handle the things that come at us. And we ended up having to cancel our party for tomorrow, and that gave us a lot of space. It was hard to cancel it. It was her birthday. We didn't want to cancel. Well, we postponed it. We didn't want to do that, but it was the right decision to make. And it ended up giving us a lot more space. And good thing. So everybody, all the guests can still come. So, it's going to work out. But if I wasn't flexible, I wouldn't have been able to make that decision so easily and be able to just rearrange. And we just made changes. We had to make a lot of phone calls and add those into our day. And, that's just what happens. I think that's really important in leadership roles. Especially if you're a planner or a scheduler, to build time in your day to be a firefighter. What I mean by that is we often use the phrase, I've got fires to put out. We have to put out all these fires. There are things burning up. There are just explosions here and there, things that we can't control. Something in our lives starts on fire. A metaphorical fire, hopefully not a literal physical fire, but sometimes these things that just pop up. But if we take a step back and we look, we can notice and realize that actually stuff like this pops up, well, almost every day. And quite often. And when we can implement some flexibility and be a little bit calmer, more relaxed about the potential of having changes, then it makes fires, they're no big deal. It makes them as almost expected. I expect that at some point today, something's going to come up that I don't have control over, and I'm going to have to solve it. I'm going to have to manage it. And if we build that into our day, it makes the day way less stressful. It makes it almost exciting because, hey, I wonder what's going to come up next that I get to solve. What kind of problem do I get to handle and manage? And it, instead of being like overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I have all these things on my list today and there's no room for anything to change. And when something comes in and messes that up, then everything's wrong and I can't handle it. And life is just so hard and I'm going to fail at everything, build in some flexibility on purpose, build in time for problem solving on purpose. I used to do this as an administrative assistant. I would always tell my bosses, well, we can't schedule that right now. We've got to leave an hour of time because something's going to come up. And it always did. It always does. So we've got to leave that time. And guess what? If nothing comes up, then you have an hour of free time. And that's a really good thing. Speaking of, sometimes you just need to plan in an hour of free time. So if you're not getting that, if your schedule's so tightly packed and you've added in an hour for whatever fire comes up, but you haven't added in the extra hour for taking care of yourself, for your well-being, for a break, for stepping away, for just resting, then you're too tightly packing into your schedule. I heard Les Brown, he's a motivational speaker. He's amazing. And I heard a speech that he did when he said very clearly, time, you don't get that back. You don't get back. You can get back money. You can get back problems. You can get back other things, but you can never get back time. So make sure that the time that you're spending and that you're investing is where you want to spend it and invest it. If you notice that you're spending all your time putting out fires, then we need to find out some other solutions for why so many things are coming up. If you're spending all of your time doing all the day-to-day tasks that you don't have time for the fires, then you need to put some things into place so that you can have time for that. And you need to create this flexibility. Tall buildings are built to sway. Trees are built to sway. To have this flexibility, this motion, that we're always in motion, that is actually what can help us to maintain our well-being and a sense of strength and resiliency and the sense of accomplishment, because we're allowing for that sway. We're allowing for things to change, for things to move, things outside of our normal routine. Routine's great. We need routines and we need structure. But if we are so structured in our spaces that we're not allowing for things to come up, for plans to shift and change, we're going to notice that we're going to really struggle with things like anxiety because we're going to always be worried about what is changing and we're not going to be able to manage different changes. We'll struggle with just change overall. Now, I personally do struggle with change. I struggle with big changes, like a big move or a transition that I wasn't expecting. That can be hard. And so I have to give myself time to process what's happening and allow myself that space to make that transition smoothly for a major, major change. So we've talked a lot with a lot of guests about self-awareness, how important it is to be self-aware. And I think it's really important when we're talking about flexibility to be self-aware. That's just another piece of it. And another reason why it's so important to pay attention to what is it that you need. Are you feeling like you are out of control if something goes off about your day? Well, we need to figure that out, plan for that into your space. And you can look ahead for these things. So think, okay, if in the month of December, which can be a really hectic month in the United States for a lot of people, if in the month of December, I tend to feel stressed, overwhelmed, chaotic, I have too much on my plate and not be able to handle things, well, think ahead. What can I do to prepare myself for that month so that this year it's different than it was last year? How can I allow for some flexibility so that I can find that joy of just living your daily life? Or if it's a seasonal holiday for you that you want to find joy in, how can you maintain that sense of joy without forcing it? And a lot of that is going to be by allowing some sway, flexibility. Something's going to change. You might get sick. Somebody else might get sick. Your plans are going to get canceled. You might have to stay up a little bit later. You might have to get up earlier. You might have to say no to more things so that you have room to say yes to some other things. So Really, I just wanted to come in here for a few minutes really quickly today, just to say, if you are feeling burnt out, tired, exhausted in your leadership position, take a look at the big picture of how things are working. Do you have flexibility for things to change? Do you have buffers built in so that you have space to deal with any fires, problems that come up? Do you have natural buffers built in so that you have space to rest, recover? Today was so funny. I was sitting at lunch, by myself at my kitchen table, and I was taking a break from work and just playing a game on my phone. I found a puzzle app on my phone and it's been quite fun. So I was doing a puzzle on my phone and I had this moment of guilt where I thought, man, I really have a lot of other things I should be doing right now. Then I thought, you know what? It's okay for me to take a break. Remember, breaks are good. And I'm taking 5 minutes for a break so that I can come back in and do all the things that I need to do. Am I going to spend my whole day playing a game on my phone? No. Am I going to waste all my energy on my phone? No. I've got a family, I've got a business, I've got a home to keep up. Things that have to happen in life. But it's good to take a rest and it's good to build those things in so that we're not surprised when we do need that space and time. Hope this helped you a little bit today. I have great belief in you. So grateful for you. You're doing amazing work. Keep it up. And if there's any way that I can support you, I am here for that. If you're looking for some assistance in building some flexibility into your schedule, let's hop on a call and chat about that, because I don't ever want you to feel alone in your pursuit of all the great and wonderful things that you're doing. That is what coaches are here for. That is what I'm here for. That is what your support system is here for. People want to support you, so let them do that. And let us help you by building in some flexibility in your life so that you can really continue to be this amazing person that you are. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you've liked what you heard and you want some more tools and resources to help you on your journey, go check out kylakofer.com/free stuff.